Hello everyone and welcome to Upside Down. Today we are going to talk a little bit more about meshes and how you can actually model and what kind of meshes you can do in Unreal. We are going to have a look into some of the new experimental steel tools inside Unreal 4.26. So without further ado, let's start! First thing that we're gonna need to do is enable the experimental plugin. So we are going to go into Edit, Plugins, and here I'm typing Mesh Tools Editor Mode. We are going to enable it. You can see that it's still in beta version 0.1. We are enabling it, yes, and then we're gonna need to restart the engine. While we're starting the engine, hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you didn't subscribe yet. Now that we have our plugin enabled, you can see that there are some shaders that need to be compiled, but it won't bother us, so let's get started with our modeling. I'm going to close our plugins, and first thing we need to be from our modes into modeling. Then you can see that we are going to have this toolbar, and already here you can see that there is like boxes, cylinders, and other things that we can do, and as well there is create, where it's something very cool. We are going to be able to actually create some splines and model with them. So once we are here, let's go and create some of the meshes that we have. So I'm just going to create a box. We can click on it and then we are going to be able to drag it into our scene. And after that, to stop creating boxes, you can see that it automatically snaps based on the collision for other meshes that we have in the scene. So in order to stop creating our box, we can just click here on the complete, and then we can come and select the one that we already created. So now the difference, for example, between this box and some of the other boxes is all the things that we actually have on the side to manipulate and do for it. So boxes are nothing super new and nothing super exciting, so let's move on into some of the other things which are a little bit more interesting into modeling, and let's go into create. I'm going to go there, and then what we're gonna do, I'm going for Polygon, and what we are doing, you can see that we have now this grid that appeared over here, and it's something that, for example, if I want, I can rotate it. I'm going to make it like this, and I'm just going to leave it as it is. And what we can do now on this grid is we can start creating our shape. So what I'm gonna do is just by clicking, so you can see that we can do some shape. I'm doing just a part of it. Let's say something like that. And then we can close it in the very beginning where we started. And after that, it will allow us to extrude it in whatever direction we want. So I can extrude it either up and down, and once we are done, boom, we have our shape created. Then we can click complete and move it to the top. So now we have it into the scene, and you can see that it automatically comes already with UVs, and everything seems to be working pretty well. Once we have the geometry that we want, we can always clone it. I'm just going to make Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V to make a clone of it. And since this tool allows you to do quite a lot of different things, I'm going to merge this part into our first part. So I'm going to move it the way that we want. And then here on the top, you can see that there is Vox merge. So we can select those two and merge them together. This will create a completely new shape. You saw that it makes some a little bit weird things there, but it was just calculating. And now what we have is we merged those two assets into one. So this is something that we can as well do. I'm just going to go Ctrl+Z to return what we had before. And again, I'm selecting both of them. And as well, we have Boolean, not only merging, but we can as well extract part of the mesh from the other one. So Boolean, you can see what's happening. And then here we can click either accept or cancel if we are not happy with the result. So then we are just clicking accept. and Unreal is going to create us the mesh that we just saw. You can see that at the moment this mesh doesn't really seem to have UVs, because here we have this nice grid, but here we don't really see it. No worries, we can always go to UVs and normals, and we are going to create a UV map for it. So here I'm just going to go into Auto Unwrap, which you can see it's going to project on it some pattern, and then boom, it created a UV. You can see that these UVs don't really look very well, because on some places they are stretched, and also the pattern doesn't really follow very nicely everything everywhere. So I'm going to click cancel on this one, and then we are not going to use the Auto Unwrap. Remember that these tools are still in beta, so it's expected that sometimes it not might work the best way, but these are things that are all being under development, so it will just get better from here. And instead of using the Auto Unwrap, we are going to use a UV projection. Now, the UV projection, if you're familiar with 3D Studio Max, it works in a very similar way as if you are applying a UVW map. So you can see that it created this red box around our asset, and at the moment the UVs seem to be perfectly fine. So here on this side you can see that we have cylinder, plane and cubic, so we can change the same way as we can change it in 3D Studio Max. And then we have scale and all the other things. We can of course move all of these UVs up and down or left and right, and we can do all kinds of different tweaks. Once we are happy with the UVs, then we just click accept, and they are being saved to our asset. And now it seems that there are no any stretches as we had before. One last thing that I want to show you as well today is about sculpting. So when we have an asset selected, in our case this mesh that we just created, we can go into the form, and there you can see that we have Sculpt and Dynasculpt. I'm going to use Sculpt at the moment, and with Sculpt it will change a little bit the appearance of our mesh, how it looks, but I can rotate our camera around, and then I can come over here and sculpt it the way that I would like to. So we can create, for example, it's a great thing if you would like to make some rocks or something else which is like more organic shapes, and just sculpt everything inside Unreal. And once we are done, of course, we can just click accept. It will remain the same UVs, so you might need to recreate some of the UVs once you sculpted it, but overall you can see that very fast we can create very awesome shapes and very quick designs. This is amazing for doing level designs, or if your game doesn't really require some very highly detailed geometry and meshes, you can also use this together in combination with some materials, especially if you make materials which are world normal tiled, and they're going to be tiled perfectly across all the meshes that you have in the scene. If you would like me to make another tutorial more in depth of creating some environment using just the modeling tools and texturing tools inside Unreal, please leave a comment and a like down below. Subscribe to my channel, and see you next time.